everyone, this is Dave. Today I'm going to be making a winter wreath using yarn and felt flowers. Today's list is a green wreath foam. It's 24 centimeters, 9.8 inches. I have some gray yarn and some glittery felt. I also have some gray that I might use. Scissors. I have these little pearl beads that I'm going to use, glue stick and a glue gun. That's all you need today. So for starters, what I'm going to do with the yarn is I'm just going to wrap it around that foam wreath. And how I'm going to do it is, first off, I'm just going to grab a whole wad of glue down there, and I'm just going to start it off. I'm just going to coat the yarn, and I'm just going to let that dry for a little bit in place. And then I'm just going to wrap it around a couple of times to do a starter, such that the glue sticks to a couple of rounds and really gives me a secure anchor for the first little bit. So I'm just going to hold it there. And then all I'm really going to do is I'm just going to wrap this wreath around and around and around and around. And yes, it will take a while to do. I think it took me maybe about 20 minutes to do the whole wreath in itself. So I mean, really, it's not that long. I just had, a movie on or TV or music in the background, and off I went. What I did do every quarter of the wreath, you'll see it here in a moment, is I did take a little bit of glue and I did secure it down. So at the 12 o'clock, the 3 o'clock, the 6 o'clock, and the 9 o'clock, I did the exact same thing. I just put a whole bunch of glue down, a couple of rounds of the yarn, held it into place. I took scissors just to kind of make sure it was all nice and glued down there. And then I just continued rolling and rolling and rolling. Yes, it does take a little while, like I said. Here I am, I'm just coming to the end. And like I said, it was probably maybe about 20 minutes for me to do the whole thing. So in essence, it wasn't that bad. When I first started, to be honest with you, I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna be here for an hour. But it didn't take that long. So there I am, I'm just finishing it off. And I'm throwing some glue down there, and I'm doing the last little rounds, making sure it's all nice and glued down. And I'm just going to add a wee bit more glue there because I don't really want to have this unravel. So I'm just adding some more glue, going to let that dry. And then of course, once that's all done, I kind of take a look at it, see how it is. I'm pretty happy with it. And I just leave it, and I chop off the excess, and then we'll start doing the creations of those felt flowers. And speaking of those felt flowers, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to take a few moments of your time and give credit to some of my fellow YouTube crafter here. Her name is Amanda Aitken. She is a master at card making and paper crafting, and her projects literally blow my socks off. She is one talented lady, and not to mention, she is such a kind-hearted individual. I have to give her credit for inspiring and encouraging me to make these felt flowers that I'm about to show you. She has a video on her channel that shows us how to do these rolled up roses using paper, and she also has printables that are available to help you out. So go check out her channel and see all the amazing things she does with her card making and paper crafts. So these are the felt flowers that I'm actually going to create today. So they're just made out of this glittery felt that I found at the Dollar Tree, some hot glue, and a little beaded pearl right in the center. So here's the glittery felt that I'm using. I just cut a square out of it. I didn't really measure it, to be honest with you. Maybe it's about 4 or 5 inches. And then just following Amanda's instructions, all I did was I cut out a circle. Now, mine is not perfect by any means. I don't even know if you can really call it a circle, but I didn't want it to be perfect. So I wanted it to be, flowers are, random and wild. So all you're really going to do is you're going to cut a spiral out of this circle. And for me, I didn't measure it again. I just cut a random spiral out of it, as I wanted it to be I didn't want it to be so even, let's put it that way. I wanted it to look natural and in nature Nothing is 100% even, right? So all I'm doing here is I'm cutting my little spiral out. You'll see in a few seconds. Once I'm all done, there it is, my wonderful little spiral. And that's the start of making our rolled roses. Now I'm going to take that one end that I started, the outside edge, and I'm going to start with a nice tight roll. So you can kind of see my hands are in the way a little bit. You can kind of see that I'm starting off nice and small and nice and tight. And you just really roll it around and roll it around. That's the theme for today, I think, is rollin', rollin', rollin'. So I just rolled the entire thing. The bottom part is flatter than the top part. So you can see there the rose is starting to form. And then I'm just rolling it around. I'm holding it with my left, guiding it with my right. And I'm keeping kind of a little bit of a tight grip on it because I don't want that roll to come undone. So I'm kind of just holding it nice and tightly with my left hand as I finish rolling it all around. So you can see the top now is fairly uneven, which is the look that I was going for. But I am keeping the bottom part fairly flat. So that little tab on the end is how we're going to attach everything. And what I'm doing here is I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of hot glue down. So just be careful with this process because I did burn myself a couple of times when I was doing this because that's a lot of hot glue. And then you just flip over that tab, hold it into place just for a little bit. And here I am just holding it in place, waiting for it to dry or at least cool down. And I think I'm actually tapping to a song, I'm not sure. I had music going on in the background. But I want to make sure that glue that does cool off just a little bit before I handle it again. So then I'm putting a little bit of glue in the center for that beaded pearl. And I'm going to plop that right in there. Or I'm going to try to plop it right in there. And there you go. Your rose is all done. Now I saw that the edge here is coming off a little bit, so I'm going to take a little hot glue and I'm just going to place that down and fold that over and wait till it dries. And then I am done making my roses. Here is my wreath, here is my roses. Now we're just going to attach everything using my hot glue gun. I'm just holding it down a bit. Now, I don't know if anybody else will have this issue, and I don't know whether it was the type of yarn that I used or the felt or what it was, but I did have a little issue with the glue actually sticking down to the yarn. So I did have to hold, you'll see here, this rose a little bit longer than I did with any of the other roses, and I did have to go back and reattach that one because it kept sliding down. So I don't know if it was the glue that I was using, the yarn, the felt, but I know one of those roses gave me a really hard time. So just to let you know, I mean, I didn't show it here, but maybe just hold them down a little bit longer. Yeah, see there, that rose kept falling off and I had to re-glue it again and again. And I'm just holding it in place now. But I'm almost done. I'm trying to figure out what to do with this last rose. And I think I finally figured it out. I'm just going to plop that right here. And then what I'm going to do is I decided to take more of those little beads and have them coming out from where the roses are. But I'm not going to cover the entire wreath. I'm just going to put them every now and then. Now these little pearls are just like I said, little beads that I got at the Dollar Tree. They were a nice color. They had a nice shine to it. I was really happy with them. And I'm randomly just putting little dots of glue down, throwing those beads on there just to complete the look. I just felt it needed a little something more. Yep, that's all I'm really doing at this point is just throwing those beads down, seeing how it looks. Do I need a little bit more? Yeah, let's put a little bit more on. And here's the final result. My wreath made out of yarn and felt flowers. So again, thanks to Amanda for inspiring me with those felt roses, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you liked today's wreath. And if you did, give me a thumbs up and maybe a comment down below and let me know how yours turned out, or if you're going to give it a try. I always love hearing from everybody. Thank you so much for watching again. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.